How are you, dear learner? Welcome to our lesson. So today we are going to look at Form 1 Agriculture. My name is Mr. Mwangi. So we are going to look at Introduction to Agriculture. So agriculture, we are going to introduce agriculture. Agriculture, the term agriculture comes from two Latin words which are agra and cultura. Agra meaning land or field, and then cultura meaning cultivation. Agriculture, therefore, is defined as an art and science of crop and livestock production. So, like we have now that from the definition of agriculture, whereby it is defined as an art and also it is defined as a science. So it means that agriculture is both an art and also a science. So as an art, agriculture involves the following. Number one, we have tilling of land, which involves maybe the use of, for example, use of a jembe when you are plowing or when you are when you are carrying out land preparation. Then again, we have construction of farm structures. Construction of farm structures, and if I can give an example of farm structure, for example, a dairy shed, a cow pen, or even a farm store. Well, in the construction of such structures, the knowledge or the skills which are applied, that one falls uh, falls as under art. So when you are constructing and carrying out the construction of the farm, you are applying agriculture as an art. Then again, another point is the measuring of distances. Measuring of distances. Measuring of distances. Here, this knowledge or the skills which are applied in the measuring of distances, they are applied mostly in when you are establishing crops such as maize. Remember that every other crop specific has its specific spacing. For example, maize, the spacing of maize is different from the spacing of beans. And when you are carrying out the production of beans or maize, for instance, so you have to come out, you must be able to come up with the correct and the accurate spacing so that you can have the correct crop population. Again, measuring of distances applies whereby when a farmer is trying to come up with a farm layout, so that at least he can come up with the various paddocks, and so that he can be able maybe to carry out the organization of the farm, so that we can have the various portions whereby we have them. One of the part where we have the farm structures, the other one maybe if we have dairy, you'll find that dairy will be on another side, and then the fodder and the pasture crops, you have to come up with, you have to carry out the measuring of distances so that you can allocate all these specific areas. Then agriculture as an art is machine operation. Machine operation in, for example, in feed preparation. In feed preparation, you'll find that, like when you are preparing the dairy feed, you are going to maybe to be required to you be required maybe for instance if it is naked grass, you have to chop it into smaller pieces. And for you to be able to do this one within the required time or to do it in the best way possible, you have to use a machine such as we have the chopping machine and other machines you will have like when after harvesting post harvest practices, the shearing machine, and all these machines you cannot just operate them just like that if you don't have the skills which are required. And so in the operation of these farm machines, then you apply agriculture as an art. Harvesting crops. Various crops they have their various harvesting methods, different harvesting methods. Like the method which is applied in the harvesting of meat is different from the method which is applied in the harvesting of beans. Or even you can have coffee. The method which is used to harvest coffee is by beating. In beans, you have to go uprooting, and so on and so forth for the different crops. Feeding and handling of livestock. This one, when you are carrying out the feeding and handling of livestock, When you talk about feeding, this is making sure that you are applying or you are providing known amounts of feed to your animals. And handling of your livestock, for instance, you have things like calf rearing when you are doing the feeding of the calf. When you want to carry out when you want to carry out maybe livestock management practices such as dehorning, castration, and maybe branding and so on, the method which are used in the handling of livestock, that one you'll find that we have used various methods, and the use of the various methods, that one make you whatever you are doing in the feeding and handling, then you apply agriculture as an art. And finally, we have agriculture as an art, marketing of agricultural produce. Remember, in agriculture will only become your economical benefit if the produce gets to leave the farm and finally it lands into the market. So in the market, so agriculture as a science, now we look at agriculture as a science. So agriculture is referred to as a science because it involves the following. It involves the following: crop pathology, entomology, soil science, genetics, agricultural engineering, and also we have ecology. So in crop pathology, this one is the study of crop diseases, and agriculture applies the scientific knowledge, especially when it comes to the crop pests and diseases. No, crop diseases. When you are tackling crop diseases, you are applying crop pathology, which is the study of crop diseases. Which is the study of crop diseases. Study of crop diseases. Then entomology. We go to entomology. Agriculture as a science also. When the application of entomology in agriculture, which is the study of insects and their control, study of insects and their control. In agriculture, various crops are attacked by various crop pests. And when you are trying to control the various crop pests, you are able to control the pests by application of entomology, whereby you study the insects and their control. And by doing that, you are able now to control the various crop pests in the field. Then again, agriculture as a science, we have the field of soil science. Soil science, this is the study of soils. Study of soil. Study of soil. In agriculture, various crops requires different types of soil. You'll find that we have examples of soils. We have the clay soils. We also have loam soils and sandy soils. There are some crops which will do well in clay soils, while others will do well in sandy soils, and others will do well in loamy soils. So before you engage into any of the crop production, you must first of all have an idea of the kind or the type of soil that you want to carry out your crop production on. And so it is very important to apply the study of soil science so that you can be able to get the best results. Again, also agriculture as a science, we have the application of genetics. And in genetics, this is the scientific study of variation and inheritance. And it is applied both in plants and animals, both in plants and animals. So genetics is defined as study when you talk about the study of inheritance and variation, remember that, for example, if I give you an example in animal production, in animal production, there's something what we call breeding. And in breeding, you have to make sure that you get animals or you close animals, you come up with closest which are going to give you animals or offsprings which are of high quality, giving you high quality products and giving you also large quantities of this production. For example, when you talk about milk. In crop production again, for example, if you are carrying out maize production, you will make sure that you get hybrid maize, which is going to give you high and better produce. So, in the study of genetics, this application of inheritance and variation helps us to get the desired offspring, or when it comes now to crops, you get the best quality. So, genetics, study of inheritance and variation, and in agriculture, it is commonly practiced, especially in breeding of livestock, and also when you want to also breeding in crops, so that you can also get crops which are pest and disease resistant. Again, agriculture as a science, you have agricultural engineering. In agriculture, when you are carrying out practices such as tilling of land, machine operation. So it entails use of machines, and all these machines, how to come up with the machines and the use of these machines, they require agricultural engineering knowledge. So by operating the tractors, operating the farm implements which are attached to the tractor, there is the application of agricultural engineering which falls under science. So that application in the operation of various machines in the farm makes agriculture to be referred to as a science. Then we have ecology. Ecology is the study of the relationship between living organisms and their environment. Study of living organisms. Study of living organisms and their surroundings. So, I'm going to give you an example in entomology. For you to be able to study the insects and their control, you have to apply the knowledge of ecology, whereby you have to study these insects in their surroundings, and then you are going to come up with the effects of the insects or the pests in the surrounding. And in this case, you'll find that entomology, or this study of insects, we have to study them so that we can see the effects they have on the surrounding, and this surrounding could be maybe crops, and that's why it is important. So through the study of ecology, then you're able to come up with things like entomology, which is the study of insects and their control. Then from there, we are done. We have already looked at agriculture as an art, and also as agriculture as a science, because we defined agriculture as an art and science of crop and livestock production. So up there, dear learner, I hope now you are well conversed why agriculture is referred to as an art and also why it is referred to as a science. So we are going to look further. Careers in agriculture. Why should you why should you pursue agriculture? Which careers are these which you are going to learn into after you pursue agriculture? So careers in agriculture, we have various. Number one, we have agricultural extension officer. And in this career, you find that an agriculture extension officer is an officer who is mandated to visit the farmers in their farms and also offer extension advice, maybe relating to the crop and crop pests, maybe attacking a certain area and how to control them, and how maybe to come up with better livestock production practices, how to carry out proper crop production practices. So this is somebody who is employed so that he can be able to guide farmers in their day-to-day activities and in their farm operations. Then another career in agriculture is veterinary officer. A veterinary officer is responsible for the well-being of the livestock in the farm. He checks on the livestock in case you have any symptoms or maybe symptoms of illness. You call a veterinary officer who will come and administer the appropriate drugs to our livestock. In case also maybe when an animal is giving birth and maybe you have some complication like breech presentation, a veterinary officer will come to the rescue of that animal. Another career is crop pathologist. A crop pathologist is a specialist or a scientist who is invited into the farm to come and help in the crop. Maybe for instance, if crop pathologist is somebody who will come and be able to be in a position to help the farmer identify the various crop diseases in the farm and also help the farmer in the control of such diseases. Then we have a florist. A florist comes from the area of horticulture. So a florist deals with the flowers. So if you are going to be in that field of flower, which is part of floriculture, then that specialist under the floriculture is part of a florist. Then you have a soil scientist, and like we said that before a farmer engages in any of the crop production, it is advisable for the farmer to make sure that he takes the soil for sampling and testing so that he can be able to get the best advice on how to use the soil. So a soil scientist is a specialist who is going to take the soil, do the sampling, take the soil to the lab, then do the evaluation of the soil, and then you'll be able to give the best advice to the farmer. And in this case, soil scientists will advise the farmer whether which fertilizers to apply and which fertilizers not to apply and what to do and what not to do. Then again, we have another career. You can become a farm manager if you pursue agriculture as a career. And a farm manager is the person who is responsible for the day-to-day activities in the farm and is accountable for all the labor and everything that takes place in the farm. So if you pursue agriculture, then eventually you become a good farm manager, and then the farm will be in a position to make profits. Then again, you can also become an agricultural engineer. An agricultural engineer who is in charge of the farm machineries and also coming and also inventing more and more machineries to help in the production, in agricultural production. So from there, then we are going to look at branches of agriculture. Now that we have already introduced what is agriculture, there are various branches of agriculture which include the following. Number one, we have crop production, and this involves production of crops. Then number two, we have livestock production, which entails livestock production. And when we talk about livestock, these examples, you can have cattle, goats, sheep, and even poultry. In crop production, you can have production of maize, beans, coffee, and other cash crops. Then we also have soil science. And the soil science, here we are going to study the various soils and the various crops which are suitable in those soils. Then also we are going to be able to look at things like soil acidity, soil alkalinity, which are very important. And then you have things like soil air, you have things like soil capillarity, and so on and so forth. Then number four, the other branch of agriculture is agricultural economics. And then talk about agricultural economics. This is a field which deals with these are field which helps the farmer to know whether the farm is operating at a profit or a loss, or how to make sure that it minimizes inputs and maximizes output, thus resulting to a profit. Then the branch number five, we have agricultural engineering. And in agricultural engineering, this is a branch that that deals with things like machinery and the new inventions, which make agriculture easier and also be in a position to maximize the outputs in agriculture. So we will start by looking at this crop production. We start by looking at crop production as one of the branches, one of the most important branches of agriculture. So crop production, this one is a production of crops on cultivated land. Production of crops on cultivated land. So crop production is the production of crops on cultivated land. Crop production is divided into two. It is divided. It is divided into field crops and then horticultural crops. So field crops, these are crops which are grown on fairly large area of land, which may be annual or perennial crops. So we talk about field crops as crops which are grown on fairly large area of land. Large area of land. And they could be annual crops or even perennial crops. Then you look at horticultural crops. This is the growing of perishable crops. This is the growing of perishable crops. Perishable means they cannot be stored for long, so they have to be produced and marketed when they are still fresh. So horticultural crops, this one now in this case, so is the growing of perishable crops, growing of perishable crops. And horticulture involves the following. So we are going to look into details what is entailed in horticulture. So horticulture entails the following. So we have the following. Involves the following. So we have floriculture. Then we have olericulture. Olericulture. Permaculture. And even in some cases we also have viticulture. So what is floriculture? So all these, they are all under horticulture, and horticulture involves floriculture, horticulture, permaculture, and viticulture. So we start by looking at floriculture. This is the growing of flowers, e.g. roses, and others like the carnation. Then you have horticulture, which is the growing of vegetables, e.g. cabbages, kales, spinach, etc. Then you have permaculture, which is the growing of fruits, e.g. avocado, mangoes, passion fruits, citrus, growing of fruits. E.g. avocados, oranges. Then you look at viticulture. Viticulture, this is the growing of vines or grapes. So from there we proceed with the livestock production. Livestock production. So livestock production, this is the layering of all types of animals. Rearing of all types of animals. Rearing of animals. It involves so we have pastoralism, like the Maasai. Then we have aquaculture or fish farming, aquaculture. We have poultry. Then we have apiculture, rearing of bees. So we have the four. So we start by looking at pastoralism. Pastoralism is one of the methods used in rearing of animals, whereby we have the animals are allowed to graze on pastures, natural pastures. So the animals are grazed on the pastures. So from the word pastures, we have pastoralism. Then you have number two, we have aquaculture. So pastoralism is the rearing of cattle on pastures. Then aquaculture is the rearing of aqua means this one refers to as fish. Then culture is the rearing of fish. So aquaculture is rearing of fish in fish ponds. Fish and they must be reared in fish ponds. There's nowhere else apart from the natural water sources where you can rear fish. So if you are rearing them in your farm, then you have to come up with a pond so that you can rear the fish. Then we have poultry. This is the rearing of birds. This is the rearing of birds, and they can be confined in things like the big feeder houses and other examples of the poultry houses. Then you have apiculture, apri. This one means bees. So apiculture is the rearing of bees in beehives. There's no way you can rear bees if you don't have a beehive. So apiculture is the rearing of bees in beehives. So from there we come to another branch of agriculture, which is soil science. So in soil science, soil science, so this is a branch of agriculture that provides knowledge on how soil is formed, how it works to sustain life, and how it can be kept alive through many years. So, soil science, we can talk about branch of agriculture that provides knowledge on how soil is formed, and how it sustains life. Then from there, we look at the fourth branch of agriculture, agricultural economics. So agricultural economics, this branch deals with the utilization of scarce resources in the production of agricultural products. So agricultural economics, it is a branch of agriculture which deals with the utilization of scarce resources. And when we talk about scarce resources, these are things like the factors of production, which involves the land, labor, and the capital. So we talk about it deals with the utilization of scarce resources in the production of agricultural products. And finally, the last branch of agriculture, we have agricultural engineering. Agricultural engineering, this branch deals with the use and maintenance of farm tools, machinery, and structures. Agricultural engineering. It deals with the use and maintenance of farm tools, machinery, and structures. So agricultural engineering deals with the use and maintenance of farm tools and machinery and structures. So up to there, dear learner, so at least today we have been able to look at the introduction to agriculture, agriculture as a science, agriculture as an art, why agriculture is an art. Also, we have looked at the various careers in agriculture. And again, we have also looked at the various branches of agriculture, which include the crop production, livestock production, soil science, agricultural economy, and agricultural engineering. So after that bit, dear learner, I hope that now you are conversant, and I hope you are well introduced to agriculture. So in our next lesson, we are going to look at farming systems. So after